Howdy.
Hi there.
Doody.
Howdy doody.
I'm Howdy. You're
He's
Doody.
Damn it.
No.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. We're here with probably one of the most anticipated albums of the year in the metal realm, and that is the new album from Judas Priest entitled Firepower. This is their 18th album. This is the follow-up to 2014's Redeemer of Souls. Redeemer of Souls is still a fucking cool album.
Yeah, it was very much as like a sleeper hit in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
that year.
I just think, at the time, Judas Priest being how old this band is now, delivered something that was really good. And so you look at Firepower and you're like, they can do it again. And we haven't talked about this at all.
No, we have not mentioned how we feel about this album together.
I think this blows Redeemer of Souls out of the fucking water.
I agree.
Okay. Good.
I agree for the most part. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think, whereas Redeemer of Souls is a little bit of the, probably a little bit more like maybe Painkiller-esque era Priest, I'd say this is a little bit more like straight-up classic. Like, more of the Priest that a lot of people think of. The more that a lot of people are more familiar with, in which it's just like these just very... Yeah, they're kind of upbeat, but there's just these crunchy sort of riffs. And it's just great in the sense that they're just kind of rock. A couple of the riffs that come to mind is... what's the name of it? I don't want to... Rising from Ruins, which is probably my favorite song from the album.
Yeah.
The opening riff to that song, which is the chorus riff, I'm just like, yeah. And put like all over the place. Like, Lightning Strikes is a great example. Necromancer, it's really good. Children of the Sun. Like, there's basically, that's what this album is. This album is riffs, just riff after riff, and that's what's great about Priest. Is that I've always liked Priest's riffs. They're not like mind blowing in any sense, but they're perfect for what they're trying to do, and it works so well. I think Rob Halford's vocals are also, I think they're better than they were on Redeemer of Souls. I feel like it fits so much better. Yeah. Like, especially because after seeing him live, understanding it's a sound thing. It's not that he can't do it, and I think it just fits this sound a little bit more. Like, there's only a couple moments where I'm like, okay, that's a little. But there's no
like the moment I always think off of Redeemer of Souls, and it's a great song, but his battle cry.
Yeah. Like
when he says like, "Hear my battle cry," like the way he says it's just like this is corny, dude. It just doesn't sound good. There's not really anything like that on here. He sounds fucking great.
It is like it's great. Like Never the Heroes might be one of his best vocal tracks. I mean, up there with, I think, Rising from Ruins is another great one. And like usually there's like, I think just about all the choruses on this album are awesome. Like, for the most part. I really like Traitor's Gate. Yeah. I really like just the flow of that song. There's not really any songs that are like, okay, this is a bit of a drop in quality. There's like the really good songs. I would say everything up to Rise from Ruins is like back to back to back, just awesome songs. There's only a couple songs here and there that I think towards the end of the album where they're still good, but they're not like the greatness that the first half is. Like Spectre, a little bit. Spectre's an okay song. I like the main riff in Lone Wolf, like that it comes in. That's good. And then Sea of Red's also just another great song. And then, yeah, I just think that all these songs are great. And at first I looked at this album like there's 12 songs. I'm like, usually the large number of tracks, I'm like, oh, this album's going to drag on. No, it goes. I mean, it's under an hour. I think it's only like 58 minutes. Yeah. And they're all like 4 or 5 minutes long, and it just works. I just think this album just flows so much better. Whereas maybe Redeemer of Souls, the highs were higher, but the lows were also lower. I feel like this album's just boom. Lightning Strikes is still probably one of the better songs, but as I said, Rise from Ruins, Traitor's Gate, Children of the Sun is really good. I just think this is the modern Priest album, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. So,
yeah, I mean, I think this album can stand toe-to-toe with some of the best Judas Priest albums they've ever written. And I think if you're like, nothing can touch the classics, you're just crazy, in my opinion. This album is fantastic. And it's from start to finish. I mean, starting off with the title track that just punches you square in the balls the whole time, and with just a really, really catchy riff, but also Rob Halford's vocals just sound so mean during that chorus and great. And then I loved how Firepower ended, and then it's just bam, lightning strikes. That main riff just another one straight to the balls. And then you get to Evil Never Dies, which is one of the heaviest riffs on the album. That just it's like this album just never loses its momentum really at all. And there's some songs on here that are faster or heavier than some other ones, but I still think, eventually the album opens up to where those songs kind of come in, but it still doesn't lose its momentum to me. And that's why I love, and they did this with Redeemer Souls too, is like Sea of Red is a slower song on the album, and that's what they ended with Redeemer Souls, is a slower track. And I like that, of like just punch you square in the balls and then end with something a little bit more mellow but still really strong. And Sea of Red is that song to me. I really like that song a lot. And but to me, this album showcases how much a power chord can do for you. Yeah. Still, in 2018 for metal, like power chords are fantastic and they pretty much are metal, but you can do so much with them still. In Priest showcases that time after time after time. And this is the example of that, because none of these riffs are like, wow, that is like...
It's groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking, crazy stuff. But a lot of them are just so well made, and just, the drum beat is perfect to it, or something like that. The vocals, when that comes in, it just takes it to another level that it's cool. And you have everything that's just built around riffs, and you can tell that's what they do first. They write the fucking riffs, you know what I mean? And then Rob Halford comes in, and they make everything work. Like Richie Faulkner and Glenn Tipton on this album are fucking fantastic. And I mean, some of my favorite riffs, I think Trader's Gate is just a fucking beast, man. Those riffs are great, and Rob Halford's vocals in that song are just phenomenal. I think No Surrender is another really great song. It's a shorter one, but it has a beefy chorus and everything. And I mean, you just can't deny the power of Lightning Strikes. I think that's the song to me off this album. I know that's their first single, but that song is the one I think is just a little bit stronger than the rest in terms of riffs, in terms of vocals, the chorus as well. And also, I always get the solo stuck in my head all the time. And it's good. But seriously, there's no dip in this album in terms of quality of tracks to me. Like, I do agree with you. Like, some are good. Like, here's the bar, and here's where everything at least is. And then most of it's like up here. There's a lot of it I'd say over half of it is way up here.
I would honestly say, like with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 songs, it's like boom.
Exactly. It's a damn good album, man. And to be this deep in their career, I mean, their debut was in 1969, and to still be putting out something like this is just incredible. I mean, I went back and listened to like Screaming for Vengeance and Defenders of the Faith this week, and I'm like, man, these albums are still fucking good too. And I think this album slides right in there with them as some of the best Judas Priest has ever done. I think it's just, it is so cool to me, and I think it's good for metal in an interesting way, that some of these older classic bands, some of them are going away, like Slayer, for example, but like Priest, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Anthrax, Creator, Exodus, Testament, they've all been putting out some of the best work they have ever done. And you go watch them live and they still fucking kick ass.
They can all still hang.
Yeah, it's good, and I know some of these bands are going to start to go away over time and everything, and but I think it's good to have those classic bands still putting out some of the best stuff, and to also have those bands maybe be able to take some of the newer bands out on tour and shed light on them, like, hey, these are the guys when we go away, sort of thing. And I think it's just a good mix, and I love this album. This is probably my favorite album of the year so far. I'll be honest with you. I really like Visigoth, and I really like Angra as well. I feel like I'm blanking on at least one other album too.
Machine Head.
No. but I think this is the one that I have enjoyed listening to the most.
I'd agree with you on that. I mean, it's
so much
at least for
fun
me, it's
listening.
between this and Visigoth. I really did enjoy listening to Visigoth when that came out. So, but I mean, there is still 9 months left.
Exactly. There's a lot of music to listen to, and I know I'm stoked for the new Rivers of Nile next week, man. Those songs they've been putting out are like, whoo, the tits. Anyways, any last thoughts?
Yeah.
None for me. What do you
9.
give this?
9 out of 10.
Yeah, me too. 9 out of 10. This is a fucking great album. Check it out. Let us know what you think of Firepower by Judas Priest. Go throw the horns up in the air. Jam this one loud and proud.
Too sweet.
I cannot wait until it's warm out and just crank this. Put the windows down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. So, all right. See you later.